This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening. Welcome back to Mastering Mathematics, a program produced by the Ministry of Education using its broadcasting unit and ABS Television. Our task and our motion is to make certain that we can improve the standard of mathematics. And yes, we're aiming for 100% pass, but we're going to take not baby steps, but giant leaps getting there. Because we know that our students can master the mathematics concept. And it's a matter of making certain that those people who are always talking about, oh, when I used to go to school, I couldn't do mathematics, that we put them in the grave and in the dustbin of history. Those are the people we want to put in the dustbin of history, because we know that mathematics is easy. Okay? Last night, what did you do? I sent you home. I told you that after I would have disappeared from your screens, that you had a problem to do. I believe your little grandson and your little granddaughter were also very, very helpful in terms of showing you that this is something, auntie, uncle, that I can do. All right? So the question had said the vertices of a quadrilateral OABC are 0, 0, 4, 2, 6, 10, and 2, 8, respectively. I took for granted that all of us knew that a quadrilateral referred to, yes, the four-sided figure. All right? And then we were asked, use a vector method to answer the questions which follow. And the vector method refers to the algorithm that pertains to teaching mathematics. We have to emphasize every time that as teachers, what we're saying, we have to know what is the mathematics that we require to teach mathematics. So not because somebody's going to say, oh yes, go and ask so he does physics, so he knows vector. But is that the mathematics that's required to teach mathematics? And that is what we have to sensitize people to. That not because this is somebody's an accountant, not because this is somebody's a chemist, that you just take them and send them into a classroom and tell them to go and teach mathematics. That is what we're suffering from in Antigua Barbuda. We have people who are teaching mathematics who are not mathematics teachers. They weren't trained, but they were now saying, but you have a mathematics background because you do so and so. That is not the point. Every discipline has its own content that is required and needs different skills in order to get the communicative knowledge over to our students. All right? So here we are. And in terms of what they're asking us for, what are they asking us for? Use a vector method to answer the questions which follow. And again, does this sound like a stock record? Write as a column vector in the form. And here it is. This was what we did yesterday. Write as a column vector in the form XY. CXC has not changed. CXC is not sending you down any wrong route. They're being consistent. And if you are a dedicated student and would have been practicing this stuff, teachers have given up their vacation to make certain that you can do these things. So students, it's up to you. And parents, I'm going to come after you. If you don't see to it that your students or your children are sitting and taking in the education that's required. We now live in a knowledge society, and therefore the tool needed is knowledge. Okay? You have to emphasize that. So again, so here we are. So what are they asking you for? OA. Does that sound familiar? Yes, 2 letters. So what is it? Let us examine what has happened. CXC has given us they have given us the coordinate. So we know the coordinate of A. And Now they're asking us to find OA. What did we say we have to do when we're finding the position vector? That is right. Once we would have examined and seen what is the coordinate of A, so for us in this instance, A would have been equal to 4, 2. We know right away that OA would be equal to, turn it into a column vector, as CXC has asked. And that is the answer, which is our 4, 2 written as a column vector. Did you get that? Because that was your homework, you know. I'm not teaching you anything here. I'm just justifying and asking you if you got that. All right, phone me and tell me. And then they would have asked us to find, and what was it that they were asking us to find? CB. They're now asking us to find CB. And again, if we had to do something that I said, if we're asked to find CB, we can draw a triangle, which is OCB. Let's do it in C. So we can have O, and we can have C, and we can have B. All right? So we know the OBs would be going, the OBs would be going, and they're asking us to form CB. So we can always work it out from that to see what is. Do we know OB? Yes, because using our knowledge again, we know we can turn that into a column vector. So to find OB, we can just pick out and see OB would be equal to 610. Do we know OC? And yes, so we know that OC is equal to, and it is 2, 8. And what are they asking us to find? So we have to find CB. When we sketch that little diagram, we're looking to see, so what is CB? And again, we're saying it is a side for a triangle. Okay, the arrows are going, this is one of the partners to this particular arrow. And in this case, it would have been OB, which is the resultant. So we know that CB would have been equal to OB, and it's minus OC. And that is equal now to, so OB, and it's 6, 10, and it's minus, and it is OC, which is equal to 2, 8. And here again, it's now equal to 6 minus 2, 10 minus 8. And so we're getting our answer. It is 4 and it is 2. So that in terms of our column vector and in the form prescribed for us, the answer would have been equal to 4, 2. Now today, because I'm using the examination papers, I want you to concentrate and to see that you already understand what it is to do something like that. So just for a while fifth formers, you relax, and grannies and aunties, we want to address, yes, our little friends who are listening. And of course you would have known that at this time too, it's not only the fifth formers who are preparing for exams, but we have our grade 2 students, we have our grade 4 students, and we have our grade 6 students preparing for that exam. We want to start from the top, where we want to address parents, teachers, and the students who are listening too. As of next week, I'll be bringing in some questions, and I'll be asking the grade 6 students, the grade 4 students, and the grade 2 students to complete some assignments for me while I address the fifth form students. And before the program is finished, I'll be asking for my solutions. Okay? When it comes to the 11 plus exams, we expect them to have the basics in terms of knowing multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Again, we are saying that an examination, it's timing. And just as how we are asking our fifth formers to practice these students need time out to do a little practicing too. What are we requiring? For the examination for our grade 6, we are asking them to give us basic, and that is tested in multiple choice, where we give them a little 30 minutes multiple choice questions and ask them like a mental part of it to give answers to these questions. We have a little paper that you're calling your paper 2, where they have compulsory sections. Again, not very difficult questions, and they're asked to exhibit that they know when to multiply, when to divide, when to add, what are the meanings of things like a score, a dozen, a gross, what are the best choices to make to go into the supermarket. So they're not just looking for the numbers and then just saying you're going in and you're buying 6 milk. You're going to check, let them check and see they're saying 3 tins of milk would cost what or what. And those are the sort of things that you're looking, those hook questions, to see that they can get. All right, so for a project, we want something practical. We want something that they can touch, that they can feel, and that they can feel proud about having made. I'm going to come back and address the grade 2 and the grade 4 sessions. So until tomorrow, that is exactly how I'm going to start. We will be addressing what is required for our grade 4 and our grade 2 teachers. So right now, just before I get you switching from what I've just said for our grade 6, let us take a little break and then come back and address our grade 4 and grade 2 students.
Be sure that you're working in the same units of measure when performing calculations. If a problem involves inches, feet, and yards, be sure to make the appropriate conversions so that all your values are in the same unit of measure. For example, change all values to feet. When asked to show work or justify your answer, don't be lazy. Write down everything about the problem, including the work you did on your calculator. Include diagrams, calculations, equations, and explanations written in complete sentences. Now is the time to show off what you really can do with this problem.
Now, what have we done in the education department? We have said we're not going to wait until it's grade 6 before we test them. We want to see what is happening. What do we have to do to improve, especially for mathematics, the standard? Well, I have been doing this need analysis. So yes, we've been checking and seeing that we can see qualifications in terms of teachers who are teaching our mathematics, our students in the mathematics classrooms. What is required now is refresher things and bringing them on stream to say what is new in terms of the research associated with teaching mathematics in the primary school. So we can see the difference in terms of preparation for tuning and making certain that our teachers are prepared for the job. Now, let us remember a grade 2. What are we talking about? So even if we're going to school and it's 5, 6, 7 years old, and we're saying at that level, we want to test and see what it is. And although we're saying test, not really test for say, it's a formative sort of assessment because it's not summative, it's not a final anything. We want to make certain what it is as teachers and educators we still need to do. Where are we falling short? What it is we still need to do with our students. So parents, we're going to examine. We're just looking and seeing that we're asking them 7 minus 2, what would be the answer? Putting it symbolically. If you had 5 apples and you gave away 3, how many would you have left? Okay. We also want them to remember in terms of our tables how this can be done, because they need to understand The computers, what are we talking about that they have now? Yes, these little tablets that they have been given, they need to understand how they function, what is the process going on behind the screen, and therefore we have to educate them. So what was good in the old days still is extremely relevant for today. We have to empower the individual, because without the individual's knowledge, the technology means absolutely nothing. And that is why, because we know that knowledge is the tool that will be required in coming centuries, we're starting from grade 2 to make certain that the concept being taught to our students are understood. So we are testing them too. So, and that testing is formative assessment. The same thing has to be repeated for the grade 4 students too. And we want to see what growth would have taken place, what is the maturity in terms of a level of comprehension, how do they transfer symbolically mathematical concepts, and can they actually understand the language that is being used. So we need to keep testing them, we need to keep asking them questions to see the vocabulary that they are using in the mathematic topics are something they are familiar with. So parents, you have to be vigilant. Teachers, we have to make students want to come to school, make certain that they're achieving. And again, we say, give them little incentives to see what is, and to let them understand that mathematics, even from this level, is something they can handle. Again, the 11 plus exam is not something to be scared of. Projects are very important, and make certain that you're talking with your teachers, make certain that you're meeting your deadlines, and do not leave everything for the last moment. Remember, for us here at the EBU, that you can meet us on YouTube, so that we can have youtube.com/mastering mathematics, or you can email us masteringmathematics@gmail.com. And again, we're going to set up our website where we can go again, masteringmathematics.info, to get our information. And you can always call Karen Weston at 783-6971. If you forget, you can look in your phone books and you can get 463-3504 or the Ministry of Education. Everybody, the receptionist at the desk will answer you and will give you my phone cell number. Please call me. It's not a secret. All right? Education is everybody's business, and that's the only thing I'm living for right now. Serve my Lord Jesus Christ, and to make certain that we leave a set of people in this country that continue with progress. Again, we will see you next time when we give you some more information on how you're going to be mathematics wizard in this country. Good night. Have a good evening.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.